Yeah. Mr. Malik. All right, ready? You ready? Rivals in this the Dream 11 Jamaica T10 first staging in Sabina Park here in Kingston, Jamaica. With us, we have the captain of the Surrey Kings, Jermaine Blackwood, and Javel Glenn from the Surrey Royals. With us also is the match adjudicator and referee, Mr. Malcolm, who has the coin. It's handed over to Blackwood. Blackwood is going to spin, and Glenn, you're going to call? Tails is the call. Tails it is. Javel, come and have a word, please. You have won the toss. What you're going to be doing?
We're going to bowl first. It's a pretty new wicket. I don't know what he's going to be doing, and so we thought that we can bowl first.
Any changes from your previous 11?
No changes. Same team for the finals.
A beautiful tournament. You have made it to the finals thus far. What is key for you today in winning this final?
The better day and the game win. Our team is very humble and we're doing what we're doing best. So we just keep doing that.
Thank you and go well.
Thanks again.
Blackwood, you have lost the toss. Had you won it, would you have done anything different?
Nah, we'd have bat first as well because this wicket, I think a few games play on it, so we just want to get the better part of it.
Surrey Kings have managed to rose to the top. Any marquee player that has assisted the team in getting to this position?
Well, it's been a collective effort from all the players, so everybody contribute.
I am sure that you'll be vying to win this championship today, but from a captain's perspective, what department do you think you really need to show up on today?
To be honest, it's just bowling, feeling, sorry. I think once we can take our catches and improve on our ground feeling and bowling department, if we can limit the extras, and then if we can in the batting department, if we can just build on that first 2 overs, then we're going to be in a good position today.
Thank you, Jermaine. Go well and all the best in the finals today.
Thank you.
There you have it. That concludes the coin toss.
Ladies and gentlemen, want to once again welcome you to Savannah Park for this 33rd game in this inaugural Dream 11 Jamaican T-10 competition. It's a final between the two Surrey teams, the Surrey Royals and the Surrey Kings. We're expecting to see a titanic battle between these two teams. They've played twice already this season, and it's split right down the middle, 1-1. The Royals, they won the toss, and they've decided to give you the playing 11 for both teams. For the Kings, the captain, Jermaine Blackwood, wicketkeeper Andy Thomas, Kenon Lewis, Ray Williams, Kurt McKenzie, the four Royal, Xavier Burton, Kenroy Williams, Brad Barnes, Montre Dennis, and Shalom Parnell. And the opposing team, they're captained by Jackal Glenn, wicketkeeper Renee Morris, and Kumawana, Leroy Love, Pete Sermon.
All right, very good afternoon, very good evening, very good night to you from wherever in the world you are. And welcome to the final of the inaugural T10 competition here in Jamaica. My name is Orville Higgins, here working out with Chris Gale. And the final will feature the two Surrey teams, Surrey Royals versus Surrey Kings. And Chris, we're expecting a cracking final.
Indeed, it will be a cracking final. Both teams have a level of destructiveness in their armory, and especially at the top here for the Kings, Lewis and Blackwood. This is going to be a cracker.
Indeed, these two teams met twice in the preliminary stages, and the results are one apiece. So nothing from the preliminary round to indicate who should have greater bragging rights between the two teams, and therefore all to play for. This is the big one.
Yeah, I think two teams that has a good balance. You look at it, they have power at the top. The Royals on their side, they have power in Log and Morris. And on the Kings side, they have power in Lewis and Blackwood. You look at the bowling, a left armer in Kari Campbell, who was brilliant on Sunday. On the Kings, we have a next left-hand pace bowler in Shalom Parnell. So again, we have Andre Dennis, we have Nicholas Gordon, and we have some good spinners on both teams. This is going to be an electrifying match.
All right, so, well, we just got a shot at the teams. That's Nicholson Gordon warming up in the background, and they're the umpires just ensuring that all is well. The Kings are sent into bat after losing the toss to the Royals. And it's Nicholson Gordon to be bowling to Kennard Lewis. Now these two are from the same neck of the woods in Westmoreland, know each other pretty well. And here's the first ball of the final. Gordon to Lewis. Oh, that's it in the air. This could be out. Could this be a first ball dismissal? It's not. Oh my goodness. That would have been a dream start. Kennard Lewis is a dangerous customer. And could that be a case of dropping the cup? You don't want to drop Kennard Lewis. It wasn't the easiest of catches, mind you.
No, I think the breeze was always blowing there for the fielder there at mid-wicket. And the breeze just carrying the ball over his head. That's a big chance. And Nicholas Gordon is the leading wicket taker in this competition, mind you. He's bowled well, and I think that would have been a good start for him. And rightly so. That's why they're in the final. Nicholas Gordon, very good with the new ball.
Blackwood now on strike. What a start that would have been for this T10 final. Blackwood on strike, the two people out, mid-wicket and third man. Here's Gordon, and that's worked away to the man at short fine leg. And another run. Nicholson Gordon has to put that to the back of his mind. He's going back to his mark now. I must be saying, why on earth didn't I get a wicket off the first ball?
I think it's going to be a case of which one of these teams settles first in this final. A final, there should be some nerves, and I think it is important that whichever team settles first will hold a firm hand on this game.
Gordon again, and that's a good delivery. Well bowled. That one was pitched up, and Lewis was feeling for it. Good bounce through to the keeper as well.
Yeah, I think Lewis is setting himself looking for anything short or full. I think a good length delivery is one in which that in-between length will surprise the batsman when they're looking to go. He's looking to go is Lewis, and I think on a good length, so let him hit you from there. That's where he should be, is Gordon.
Really tense start. And Lewis respectfully steers into the offside. And another run. Quite a vociferous crowd in the background.
Yeah, it's building all the time. Just close to 2 o'clock here in Kingston, Jamaica. And we do expect when school is over, probably a few school kids, teachers nearby will join us here. This is going to be a cracker, Orville.
And here's Blackwood facing up now to Gordon. He's pulling that with authority over mid-wicket. Did go fairly close to the man at that straight edge mid-wicket position, but he hit that with some power. And Blackwood is on his way. And the two meet in mid-pitch. And look at that. That was short. He pulled it with venom. And it ran out into the straightest mid-wicket boundary over 4.
A shot that tells you that Blackwood is up for the challenge today. He's up for a final. He's here to play a final. That's a shot of a man that is ready.
What will Gordon do now? Length ball that's worked her way out towards backward square. They take 1. They should be coming back for 2. Lewis is sent back by his captain Blackwood. And after the first over, it's 8 without loss.
Yeah, I think very good feeling there to limit the batsman to just the single. I think a feature of this game and a final is that teams feel well. We have seen the blemish there already in the field. I thought it was a chance. I just thought that the fielder misjudged it. So I was talking about that players need to be switched on. And I think again, back to the point, is which team that settles first is going to be key.
All right, so it's going to be Pete Salmon. Are you surprised that Kari Campbell didn't start? He was so impressive 2 games ago. But they're starting with the off spinner, the 2 men out, mid-wicket straight and long on.
It's always first change. And I think he's going to take up then from, I think they're going to give each bowler 1 over. I don't think they're going to use all their resources too quick. So I think it's going to be 1 each, 1 for Gordon. Then we'll probably see 1 or 2 from Kari Campbell.
So Blackwood will face from Salmon. Short down the leg side. That's punished. That's 4. Bad start from Salmon and gets the treatment. You did say Blackwood looks to be no nonsense mood. He has to.
Yeah.
And that disappeared down to the backward square boundary over 4.
And I think it's one thing when one of your premier bowler is put on the pressure. I think then now the fielding team probably going to start to feel a few jitters because Pete Salmon has been good. Now he's under early pressure.
The 2 men out are straight mid-wicket and long on. So if anything, he has to be much fuller than that. And he's bowling. My goodness. Blackwood trying to work that run through mid-wicket. Finds his stumps being knocked down. And the Royals have struck an early blow. Blackwood playing right across a straight one. Had his stumps knocked back. And it's now 12 for 1.
Yeah, I think Blackwood just really misjudging that one. I think was probably better off trying to look to punch that one back past the bowler. He's looking to turn that one a bit too square. And I think that's what undone him there. But again, Pete Salmon, that's a big blow because Blackwood was looking threatening.
Now then, 12 for 1. And let's just have a look at this. There was nothing menacing about the delivery. It was a straight ball. Blackwood was playing all around it.
Yeah, was trying to hit that too fine. We should have looked to punch it down the ground, look to get 1 down to long on. I think that would have been presenting the full face of the bat.
So the Royals have started pretty well. They could have been 2 wickets down had they taken Lewis off the first ball. But now Kurt McKenzie comes on strike, the former West Indies youth player. And let's see how he goes. Long on mid-wicket, the 2 people out. Only 2 people out, or can be out at this stage of the game. And here's Salmon. And he punches that square on the offside, can't score.
Pete Salmon will be relishing this opportunity to bowl to the left-hander. I think off spinners, they like to bowl to left-handed batsmen. And I think this now is a good opportunity to put some pressure on the youngsters. He has found run scoring to be pretty much hard at the rate that he should score.
He pulls that out towards long on, and they will not come back for the second. A touch on the short side, and easy way to get off the mat. That from Mackenzie now brings Lewis. And now that Blackwood has gone, do you think that Lewis will be just a little bit more sedate, or do you think he'll just continue to go?
I doubt that one,
shot
Arville.
about?
I think we know the kind of player Lewis is, aggressive. I think if he knows if he can be aggressive, probably he can win this match. I think if he continues to be aggressive, then probably he will be the difference in this final.
All right, so again, long on and mid-wicket, the two people back. Summon to Lewis. Lewis is hit on the pad, and ball trickles out into the offside. Seems to me that Lewis has decided just to have a look for the first maybe 2 overs. There you go, working that one out towards mid-wicket. He will start opening up those massive shoulders at some point, but for now, he's after that first ball drop, just seems to have gone into his shell a little bit. 14 for 1 after 2.
I think probably with the wicket off Jermaine Blackwood, a big wicket, now a bigger responsibility on his shoulder. And I think probably he's going to look to see which bowler he can target. And you asked for Kari Campbell. Here is now Kari Campbell. This is going to be interesting. He was good in that match on Sunday. It's a final now. And I think sometimes you see players just cracking up in the final. We're going to see if Kari Campbell has the guts to deliver in a final as how he did on Sunday.
This is one of the marquee matchups that a lot of the spectators here would like to see. Kari Campbell has impressed all and sundry with his pace and his attitude. Left arm over. And Kennar Lewis, one of the most explosive hitters of a cricket ball in Jamaica. And the winner of this particular contest could very well go a far way in deciding which team wins the game.
It should. I think it's important that Kari Campbell sometimes gets a bit carried away. We're going to see a few short deliveries. And I think we saw Kennar Lewis getting dropped off a short ball. Definitely think it's going to be short now.
Here he is. And that's an attempted pull. Wasn't all that short. Kari Campbell, not unknown to have a few words at the batsman. He was very impressive on Sunday when we were last here. Certainly when I was last here, he bowled with a lot of pace and a lot of aggro. And is someone known to have a chirp at the batsman. And that one maybe stayed down a little bit lower than Lewis would have anticipated.
Don't think it was there for that pull shot at all. I think Lewis has to set himself and pick the right deliveries.
Here is Campbell again. And Lewis is struck on the pad. They're coming through for what should be a leg by. And the one thing that they are not doing, Chris Gale, is pitching up to Kennar Lewis. The general understanding is that Lewis is better on the front foot, bashing down the ground. He's also fairly good at the pull shot. But they are not pitching up at all. It is noticeable that they are just back of a length. And I think that is the way to go.
I mean, when you look at what bowlers do to most of the power hitters in international cricket, the Andre Russell, the Pollard, it's always best advised that you go into the pitch, back of a length, challenge them to hit from there. I think we're seeing that today.
Yeah, I think the Royals have certainly started well. They have not allowed Lewis to hit down the ground. And Kirk Mackenzie back now on strike. 15 for 1 after 2.2. You'd have to say that the Royals would probably be the happier team at the moment. The 2 people out, mid-wicket, and a man round at backward square. Oh, it's not unexpected if a short one comes along. Here is Campbell. Oh, that was quick. And Mackenzie did well. Wanted a second. Lewis sends him back.
I think it is important that the Surrey Kings pace themselves. Runs on board in a final is such a massive thing. I think if they should get to over 80 in a final, I think they should make a real match of this one. The Royals, they have a pretty good team. Have good bowling. There's still a lot of spinners to come. Francis Senior, Salman still has one. It's going to be a tough task. You just think that Kennard Lewis holds the key.
Campbell, good start to his spell. He's not pitched up. He's just back of a length. Let's see if he will continue that. Yes, there we go again. They're appealing, but that, I think, pitched outside leg may have been a little high as well. But the plot continues. There could be a chance of a run out, but the batsman safely home. The plot continues here, Chris Gale. They are not coming up to Kennard Lewis whatsoever. If they're going to err, they're going to err on the short side. And so far, they've kept him pretty quiet. Lewis is only now 3 from 7. And that's very un-Kennard Lewis-like at the moment. But good bowling from the Royals.
Yeah, I think Campbell has been good. Just the 3 runs from his 4 deliveries. He's been accurate. His length has been good. There is a deep backward square leg in place for that pull shot. So I think it's going to be important to see if Kennard Lewis takes on that pull shot. He has played it and missed a couple of times.
Campbell again, and this is down the leg side. Wide signaled. I think he went for the fast leg stump Yorker that time. But too wide down the leg side.
Probably got away with that one. The fine leg was in the circle.
I'm impressed with the start. They seem to be bowling to a plan. He has not bowled an out-and-out bouncer yet after that first delivery, and I wouldn't be surprised if that is what is coming after that drop catch first ball. Here is Campbell. And that's hit on the pad. They're appealing. Again, may have just pitched outside leg. And another leg by.
Yeah, definitely pitched outside leg. A testing over though from Corey Campbell. I think I like what Corey Campbell gives you. He gives you a lot of energy. He gives you a lot of heart. And I think probably a good player to have in a final. Gives you everything. And he's doing that now.
Yeah, it's a decent start. Still has 1 delivery to go though. And this is the LBW shout. Let's look at this. I think
definitely pitch outside leg for sure.
Pitching outside.
It's always difficult when you're bowling from that angle and to get the ball to pitch in line and then to go on to hit the wicket. It's a tall task.
Mackenzie on strike now. And again, that's proper length bowling. Not pitching up to either of these 2 batsmen and not bowling too short for those cross-batted shots. And in the end, 21 is that for 3? 21 for 1 after 3. And a decent game. Decent game unfolding here.
Wickets in hand, very much key for the Kings. I think if they can bat for next 2 overs, these 2, then probably they will have what, 5 overs, halfway stage, 9 wickets in the head. Royal to come. So a lot of power players to come. McCarthy, Williams. This is going to be a very interesting last 7 overs.
Well, as the saying goes in Jamaica, it's either going to be eggs or young ones here. 21 for 1 after 3.
Now, one of these batsmen has to get a move on. No,
there you go.
I think Lewis has been there a very long time. Strike rate not up to scratch, not where we know he can be. 5 from 9. He needs to get that up a touch.
Run rate bang on 7 at the moment after 3. In the final, there's always nerves, but they'd want to get, I think, at least 90 to feel that they have a competitive score. Salmon it is to bowl to Mackenzie, and he bangs that, but can't get the boundary. Back-footed shot down to long off for a single.
I think now we're going to see a strong breeze there is blowing to that east side of Orville, and the off spinner coming into the right-handed batsman. It's going to see if Lewis will take it on.
Yeah, Lewis needs to get a move on. 5 from 9. He's been rather circumspect. You suspect that the loss of Blackwood would have added to that, but they've bowled to him pretty well. They've kept out of his swinging arc. Salmon to him again. Again, short down the leg side. And you can see, not just from the pacers, but from the spinners as well. The plan is we are not going to be pitching up to you, Kennard Lewis. You're going to hit us from, if anything, just back of a length. Here we go. Again, that's swept around. This could be 4. It is that well fielded or is it 4? Difficult to tell. And would love to see that again.
Looks like Nicholas Gordon. Was hit very hard though, that sweep shot from Lewis.
I think the umpire just checking with Gordon to say whether it went into the ropes. I think Gordon says no, it didn't. Lewis had to settle for 2. Salmon again. He's trying to hit over the top, but it's noticeable again. They are not pitching up to Lewis, and he's not at the moment doing anything inventive. He's basically waiting on that delivery to be pitched up. It's not happening quite yet. You'll comment on that. Again, just back of a length, and Lewis is struggling to get it away. Quick single.
Well, I think when you look at the sweep shot, it's not something I personally see that Kennard Lewis plays a lot. So I think for him now to see Kennard Lewis going down on one knee and sweeping, it tells you that the bowlers are pushing him to do something different. And I think they have Kennard Lewis at a very good space. They're bowling well as the Royals.
And there it is, the shout, which was only a half shout. And now Mackenzie on strike. Pete Salmon from over the wicket. And he pulls that nice and hard. That one goes into the mid-wicket boundary for the first 6 of the Kings innings. He pulled that nice and hard and handsome. And Mackenzie's on his way.
Yeah, good shot from Mackenzie outside the off stump, dragging that one over mid-wicket, hitting with the breeze, aided that one to go for 6. I mean, he knows that he has to go. Kurt Mackenzie, one of these 2 players, has to get a move on.
Yeah, maybe that was the first sign of a delivery that he could swing. That was pitched up. This one is back of a length and hit in the air. This could be out caught at cover. Is it? Yes, it is. Mackenzie goes. And it's now 32 for 2. And the Royals are in business. The Kings are in a spot of bother.
Yes, they are. Orville looking to go 1 too many. There is Kurt Mackenzie was wide. He threw his hands at it. Wasn't close to the pitch of the ball. And in the end, an easy catch for Hay. And I think Pete Salmon, 2 overs, 2 wickets, 2 huge wickets. I think he has arrived in the final. And it's important that the other bowlers back up the work of Pete Salmon so far. There is also some turn and off based from that delivery that I saw.
So Orion Williams is the new man. Orion Williams comes out to join Lewis. So Pete Salmon, as you may be hearing in the microphone, has taken his 10th wicket of the campaign.
I think Pete Salmon has done really well for the Royals. I think he is instrumental in them reaching thus far. And I think not only has he taken wickets, but he has bowled at a good economy rate. And I think that is important. He also has a big job to do with the bat when it does comes to bat.
Gordon is being brought back. His first over went for 8.
I think it's a power play over, so I think
they've taken the power play.
Yeah. Forcing Glenn to go back to his premier fast bowler and leading wicket take off the tournament.
Right. Power play means only 2 people can be outside the circle, and they are 3rd man and straight mid wicket at the moment. Gordon to Lewis, and Lewis is trying to whack that one through mid wicket. Made absolutely no touch. Lewis struggling at the moment. 8 from 13.
Yeah, he has struggled. I think they have not bowled in his eras, and he has bowled back of a length, good lengths. They have been very good. Their plans has been good. I think it's important that he finishes this over, big over, power play over. This is going to be interesting to see how it plans out.
Lewis will be coming after him, absolutely no doubt about that. Gordon bowls, and Lewis is slapping that back to the bowler. Wow, was that another chance? Lewis living a charmed life at the moment. I think it bounced, did it? Let's see the replay.
Yep.
Yeah, he hit it in the ground. I thought for a while that he hit it back at the bowler, but bounced.
That's a valuable delivery though. Low full toss, very difficult to get away. I think we've seen them going death bowling early to Kenner Lewis.
Lewis 8 from 14. He's probably wondering what on earth is wrong with my timing and my form. Gordon again. And this time he slaps that over the infield. That should run pretty close to the boundary. Probably not. They'll be coming back for 2. And again, there was no real timing on that. And Lewis is having one of those days, and Chris, when things just not happening for you, but he's dangerous enough that just one good over from him could turn the tide around. But at the moment, he's struggling to really put back to ball.
Yeah, very much struggling. We saw that. I think for me, I think that's a good delivery to Orville. I think the bowling has been good. It has not been predictable. I think that is what is getting the better of Lewis. It's not predictable stuff. They're changing their lengths, back of length, full deliveries, slow deliveries. They have been good.
Indeed. Carlton Gordon is doing well here in his second over. He darts in again. And Lewis is again hitting and missing.
And I think you see an extra step in Nicholas Gordon. He's running in hard. He's another player that gives you 110% all the time. Hitting that block, that wide Yorker very well there. The field is also set for it. Now there's a deep player going out to deep extra cover, which is good.
And it's a brave delivery because you don't want to be pitching up to Lewis unless you're right up. And Gordon, back of a length. And this time he gets the treatment. Back of a length in the sense that it wasn't Yorker, it was a length ball. But I was talking about where the Yorker is concerned. And Lewis, maybe for the first time, gets something in his arc. And we know what's going to happen once those broad shoulders make contact. It's 6 over long off. It's now 40 for 2.
Well, you said it's a brave delivery. And once you miss that delivery, you're asking for trouble. I mean, you have to give and take. You will miss a few, I can tell you. And he did miss that one, and he dispatched it.
Yeah, went for the Yorker, gave some width on that. And here's Gordon again. And Lewis is hammering that over long on. That goes all the way. He went for the Yorker again. Maybe it would be better advised to just stay back of a length because that delivery gives you a greater margin of error. When you go for the Yorker and it doesn't come off, that can happen. And Lewis, all of a sudden, is now 22 from 18 with 2 sixes in succession. And could this be what Lewis needs to get cracking towards the latter part of the Kings innings?
I think this is looking threatening now. I think the longer Lewis bat, the more concerned Javel Glenn will be. Lewis now seems to have found his range. I think they have to get him out. And I think it just shows you how easily he can catch up. He was like struggling, really striking it at under 100. Now he's 22 from 18.
46 for 2 from 5. And could we be seeing a change of momentum and a change of tempo? Raywin Sr. is the new bowler.
I think the captain here just challenging the batsman to hit against that breeze. So you've seen most of the spinners has so far operated from this the Michael holding end. So I think it's a hard hit to hit into that leg side from this end because of the breeze.
Yeah, they have nobody in the circle on the onside except for the man at short fine leg, left arm spinner. And they are saying to Orain Williams, well, there's a single on offer anytime you want into the onside. Hitting against the spin of the left arm orthodox coming over. But let's see, it's Senior. Here's his first delivery. And Williams is playing and missing. Trying to slash that through the offside, making no contact.
Yeah, good start from Senior, just find that one in. Not looking for a turn, looking for containment, challenging the batsman to hit through the offside.
Here's he again. And he's bowled him. He was trying to drag that one around towards mid wicket. And just like Blackwood discovered, maybe hitting across the line is not the option to go today. Williams has his castle disturbed without scoring. And one more wicket. It's now 46 for 3.
Well, you look at this, Orville, it was a full delivery. Really not really there for that sweep shot. Would have probably better off, as you said, playing 2 straight lines. And trying to hit across the turn also. It's a brave shot. It's a challenging shot. But what we see now is Shalom Parnell for the first time batting in the top 5. And I think what they're trying to do now is to counter the left-arm spinner and also have that right-hand, left-hand combination going. That's why now we're going to see Shalom Parnell instead of Javon Royal.
That shot that dismissed Williams seems almost premeditated. Almost as if it was saying, wherever this one pitches, I'm going to be bringing out the broom for the sweep shot. Didn't work. And let's see what Parnell can do. He will face his first ball from Senior. Left arm spinner from over to the left-handed batsman. 46 for 3 after 5.2. Short and punch back past the bowler. You'd probably say that was a half chance. That was hit back past the bowler.
Probably marking too hard there, Orville. That's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's why I said half, as opposed to a full chance.
Probably an inch of a chance or a quarter chance.
Maybe quarter chance. Yeah. All right, maybe I was being too hard. Lewis on strike. And let's see what will happen here. This should be an interesting contest. Lewis gets one short and pulls that towards the man at mid-wicket. He drops it, and it will run into the boundary for 4, adding insult to injury. Lewis gets another life. You don't want to keep dropping him. That one wasn't as easy as the previous one. But the question is,
I think
you can't keep dropping Lewis.
I think that's a breeze again. That is definitely the breeze, Orville. You look at the replay, was hit high. The fielder thought for a moment that he would have easily got there, but it's just hanging in the air.
So Lewis now well and truly on the go. He's 26 from 19. Has absolutely no option but to go hell for leather at the moment. They've changed the personnel down there at that deep mid-wicket boundary. Lewis is trying to work that one through the leg side. This could be wide. Is that 4 wide? Let's see the signal. Yes, it's wide. And yes, it's 4. 5 more runs to the total. So is it unraveling a little bit for the Royals at the moment?
Yeah, badly line delivery from Rowan Senior. Despite the wicket, this has been an expensive over.
Yes, it has. I think the total now 56. Although you're seeing 51 on the screen there. Senior again. And Lewis couldn't get the single. He was just trying to work that into those vast expanse of real estate on the onside. Couldn't close the face early enough and get that single. Will have to be content with facing Senior again. And this time he does get the single into the onside. And takes the total now 57 for 3. It's a leg by, in fact. Goes still in the scorebooks at 57 for 3.
Over number 6, the score 57 for the loss of 3.
I think 4 overs to go now, Orville. I think definitely that 100 is definitely on. There's still Royal to come. There's still, I think, Barnes to come. I've not seen any signs of McCarthy also. But there's some firepower to come. And I think with Lewis at the crease, more importantly, I think the Kings, they definitely want to get over 100.
Right, yeah. You wouldn't want to get less than 100 in our final. And they're pretty much on the way at the moment. The scoring rate is 9.5. Now 9.5 gets you 95 after 10 overs, but they feel that they probably could get a little bit more than that, especially if Lewis bats to the close. Now, Lewis may be saying, if I'm here at the end of over number 10, we will be over 100. So he has to mix aggressive intent with, I think basic common sense.
Yeah, and now is the time for him to go. Now is the time to hit, for him to hit with the breeze to that leg side. And I think this is going to be a challenging over for Francis. Francis is a calm, smooth operator. Goes about his job very easy, very calm. Looks to spin the ball. This is going to be a challenge.
All right. Ryan Francis the bowl to Lewis. And they are 3 fielders in the deep on the onside. That is the length and the line that's in the air again. Is Lewis's charmed life continuing? He's dropped again. My goodness. Lewis is probably wondering, well, this is going to be my day. And again, not the easiest of catches.
Nope. And it was wide, asking him to hit from a wide line outside the off stump. But I think at this point we have to say it's Lewis' day.
Yeah. So Lewis continues to enjoy some good fortune. That's the 3rd time he's been put down. And if you don't want to drop a member of the Kings team, you don't want to be dropping Lewis. He's so far 27 from 21 and still going 58 for 3 after 6.1. Now Parnell is on strike.
I think Parnell has been sent.
Here is Parnell swinging. That one is going down to the fine leg boundary. Let's see the signal. It is 4 runs.
I was saying that he was sent to do a job, and I think his job is to be like a pinch hitter and also to counter the left arm spinners. So it's important that he does that, and I think that is good signs for the Surrey Kings, that he's doing the job that he's been sent out to do.
Yeah, wasn't the greatest of deliveries, that too much down the leg side. That's almost a free hit in any kind of cricket. Poor wicket keeper Romain Morris was struggling to get around. Let's see, Parnell will face again. This time he's hoiking that over towards mid-wicket. Will this be taken? It is. That was well executed from the bowling standpoint. They had the mid-wicket back. They had the backward square back. And the ball going in the air. Parnell goes. And it's now 6-2 for 4.
Yeah, again, I think that was well bowled from Francis. Challenging the batsman to hit to that long side against the breeze. And in the end, a wicket for them. It's important they keep taking wickets. I think that is one of the easier ways to stop the flow of run scoring. Once you're taking wickets, you're stopping runs. And I think this is a good way to contain the Surrey Kings.
Parnell just going. Javon Royal is the new man. And a lot now depends on the man facing Kennard Lewis. 27 from 21. I don't think he fancies the left arm spinner at all.
No, he doesn't. I think he likes the ball coming into him. I think if I was Ryan Francis, I would be bowling slow outside the off stump as he did earlier and ask him again to hit to that,
yes.
to hit to that wide long on area.
The field is set for that widest delivery outside off. Let's see if he gets that. It is. He is hitting that down to long on. And another drop catch. I don't think they'll be catching Lewis anytime soon. I think they may just well decide that we aren't going to catch this guy. It's the 4th time they've put him down. They are not necessarily easy catches, but you'd expect that at this level, at least one of those should have been held on to. There it is, wide off the off stump as we predicted. And the man at long on just couldn't hold on.
Can't tell you when last I've seen a batsman been dropped so many times.
Royal now on strike. And he's down the track and hitting towards cover but can't score. Oh, what a game we're having here.
It's going to be interesting to see how costly these drop catches will be. Lewis is still there. He's 28 from 22. Big player. Been dropped about 4 times so far.
Wide outside off stump. 2 wide. That's the plan. The leg side has 3 people well back. Long on, mid-wicket. And a man just forward of square. Right back on the boundary. There's also a long off, mind you. And it's outside off stump again, and again the umpire says no. Too wide.
That was close.
Saying that was a harsh call.
We'll have to see the replay on that one.
So the plan clearly is to dart it just inside that white line outside off. And that's hit with power down the ground. Lovely shot, gone for 6. And if you look at that again, I think Royal expected it. It has been a little predictable from Francis. I think Royal made a little shimmy towards off just at the point of delivery. Here we go. Let's see it. Yeah, he knew it was coming. He shimmied across off and really put back to ball, and it went sailing over long on for 6.
Well, he's countered the plan that we predicted, and I think that plan was to go outside off stump. And I think, again, innovation from Royal. And, of course, one of the most important things, power, hitting against the turn of the ball. But to fetch that from outside off stump is a top shot.
So Lewis, having been dropped an unbelievable 4 times, I think Lewis will be out bowled or LBW or run out or stumped. I don't think he's going to be out caught today at all.
I think what will hurt the Royals if Lewis go on to really damage them in these last 3 overs.
Francis again, and doesn't deliver. Whether that was mind games or he felt that there was some little glitch in his
I have to
action.
keep an eye on that leg side now. Marville definitely should be going there.
Lewis is trying to hike that through the square leg region. Good feeling that, but couldn't prevent the second.
I think you saw Lewis there. He's very mindful, not want to hit the ball in the air. So he just probably belatedly just hitting the ball a bit flat. Happy to take 2. He's not trying to hit a 6 onto that long side against the breeze. He's very mindful of it.
And Royal coming down to have a word with Lewis. Who knows what that little quick advice was, suggestion was. Senior to Lewis. He punches out towards that straight touch mid wicket. That could get them a second no. Only one run in that. 73 now for 4 from 7.2.
73 for 4. 2.5 overs to go. I think this is a very good score for the Kings. I think they will be very much pleased. Runs on board, as I said, in a final. Pressure.
And Royal comes back on strike. 7 from 3. So he's going pretty well, scoring well over 200 as a strike rate. Just ask the bowler to wait a little bit, while Senior asked the man at short fine leg to go just a little bit finer. Left arm spinner over the wicket, and he's edging and out caught at short third man. He was trying to hit that one over the infield on the offside, and the ball peeling off the edge. And for once, the Royals have decided to take a catch. If that was Lewis, that would have been dropped. You know that, right? So they're catching everybody else, but they will not catch Lewis. Royal has to go. It's now 73 for 5.
I was saying that there is an added pressure when Lewis hits the ball, and they know how big of a wicket it is. That putting an extra pressure on the fielders, probably.
And just watch this one. It was.
I think the intention was good. I think he just probably backed away too much there. It was to go over extra cover with the breeze. I think the shot was on, but probably backed away just a bit too much to leg. And I think Rain Senior has bowled a very good spell. 2 for 12 from 1.5 overs so far. Very good, excellent returns for him.
Had they taken their catches, the Royals team would be in a far greater position. Brad Barnes is the new batsman, by the way. Can put back to ball as well. Started off life as good enough spinner as he was a batsman. Doesn't bowl as much these days. A West Indies youth player as well. And Senior checks his approach, looks around the field. Brad Barnes walks away. Here is Senior. He wants the man at backward square to come a little bit squarer. And now he's ready to go. And Barnes is trying to hit it down the ground. Ball trickling down. He was wanting to run, had to be sent back by Lewis. And then just rehearsed a straighter shot. There was he, wanted to run, God on earth know where he was going. Cena to Barnes. Short and quicker delivery, couldn't line it up, couldn't hit it over mid-wicket. That one was dragged down, but it had greater pace on it. And Brad Barnes couldn't score from his first two. Senior again. Great 2-over spell here. This is pulled out towards mid-wicket, but only a single. Lewis would prefer, no doubt, that he was on strike. But in a T10 game, you can't turn down singles at this stage. But I don't think that the Royals would be too disappointed that Brad Barnes is the man on strike. It's 74 for 5 off 8. The rate now dropping down to 9.2. So let's see what will happen now. Good 2-over spell that from Raven Senior. 2 for 13 from his 2. The left arm spinner certainly helping his team's cause. And now it is the left arm pace of Kari Campbell. Only going for 5 in his first over. Like I've been saying, maybe one of the more impressive fast bowlers in this tournament. Fast and mean. And full of chirping at the batsman. And let's see if Brad Barnes will be able to handle the kind of missiles that he'll be sending down. So here is the aggressive left arm pace of Kari Campbell. Let's see what happens from here on. And that's hit in the air. That's disappeared over long arm. That's gone. That's a huge 6. Take that, Kari Campbell. And Brad Barnes is saying, well, don't miss your length, Mr. Kari Campbell, or I'm going to let you pay. And that was hit some distance. The ball going in maybe 15 rows back in the north stand. What a shot that was. And let's see. It's 81 for 5. And will Kari Campbell come up again, or will we see something fast and nasty at Brad Barnes? People in the background saying Yorker, Yorker. Is that the ball, or will we get something short and rearing? Campbell bowls, and he's hit that even further. That goes far into the stands. Brad Barnes, take a bow. Kari Campbell, my goodness, he walked that over wide long on. And Brad Barnes is saying, why wasn't I batting earlier? Those were 2 scrumptious 6s. And Kari Campbell being given rough treatment here. Now they're having a little meeting there, Captain Glenn with Kari Campbell in Nkrumah Bonner. So the think tank of the Royals team meeting, and maybe the instructions are, don't pitch up, don't get too close to Brad Barnes. You don't want to be hit for 3 6s. And they have rattled Campbell. Brad Barnes has. And what will he have to offer? Those were 2 huge 6s. And Campbell checks his run again. The pressure is steady.
We talk about settling in a final. You have to settle quickly.
There you
Kari
go.
Campbell is tested.
And he's hit that. This peels off in the air over the offside. Will they catch it? No. Well, yes, they do. I thought for a while that they would drop it, but the catch was taken. And Barnes trying to hit leg side again. Maybe should have gone over long off, but he's giving his team some momentum. And that 13 from 6 was not a bad little cameo, giving his team A little shot in the arm. Here's the dismissal. He was trying to hit leg side again. It peeled off over the offside. And for a while I thought Nkrumah Bonner wouldn't get there, but he did. And one more wicket goes down. It's 87. It's 86 for 6. The electronic scoreboard saying 87. While we're seeing 86 here. We'll work that out. But what we know, 6 wickets down. And we'll go with our scorers at 86 for 6. And 8.3 over is gone. Lewis is back on strike, by the way. New batsman is Williams. And Lewis will be on strike as Campbell charges in. And Lewis gets a good delivery. Yorker length. Had absolutely no chance. And the very excitable Campbell standing mid-pitch. No doubt having a chat. That was it. Good slower Yorker. Lewis is nonplussed. He wants the keeper to give him back the ball. Very competitive bowler. He is Campbell. And after being roughed up by Barry Barnes earlier in the over, he's all set to go again. Just 8 deliveries in the Kings innings with the dangerous Lewis on strike as Campbell again. And that's a good delivery. That's punched into the offside. They could be coming back for the second, will they? Yes, they are. This could be tight. No, bad throw. And 2 more to Lewis, hitting that into the offside. He goes to 31 with that. And it's now 88 for 6. Final delivery of Campbell's second over. As Lewis tries to ensure that his team gets to at least that 100 mark. You have 12 more runs to get there from the next 7 deliveries. Campbell just wiping the ball on his finals. Maybe the pressure telling extra sweat. Here's E to Lewis. And Lewis is hiking that. Anything that Brad Barnes can do, he can do as well. And for the 3rd time in the over, they have deposited Campbell high and wide over wide long on. Another huge hit. And it's now 94 for 6.
I think those drop catches now will definitely come back to haunt the Royals. Remember Glenn, Gordon, all of them will be very disappointed with their efforts and what the catches that they would have put down, because now it's now turning out that Lewis will be the man that can damage them. 37 from 26 deliveries.
Williams is the new man. And he will take strike. So Campbell being roughed up in that final over did take a wicket. But he was hit for 3 massive sixes with both Barnes and Lewis teeing off. There's a shot of some spectators in the ground. And it's a change of bowling. It's going to be the left arm spin of Francis to bowl to Williams. There's a shot of the few who are gathered here. And though they may be small in numbers, they are certainly loud in voice and spirit. And should Williams nick a single here and put Lewis on strike?
Definitely. That should be the plan.
Well,
there you go.
He hits down to long on.
He has a chance now to really launch into these last 5 deliveries.
Lewis has a chance.
Francis is bowling from the right end. I think to hit to that side is very difficult. So I think he has to look to hit straight or to hit over cover. That's where he has to target.
Expect fireworks or a dismissal Francis bowls. Lewis punches over cover. Could this be out? Caught? No, they're not going to catch him today. We told you that. That one wasn't a chance, to be fair. But Lewis hits the ball in the air. You could say today is not going to be a day when he's out caught. Could only get one though.
I think
Williams back on strike.
I think Williams has to get him back on strike again. I think such is the power of Lewis and what he can do. So I think he should be looking to get him back on strike.
He's down the track and hoisting over mid wicket, and one bounce to the man at that straight mid wicket. Coming off the straight mid wicket boundary. And only one. Brings Lewis back on strike. Lewis
you saw the previous delivery. He was looking to go offside because he's very mindful of that hit to that leg side.
Yeah. So you're saying that if anything, he'll be backing away and punching over long off?
Or look to go straight.
Or look to go straight.
Yeah.
Let's see. My guess is that he'll still try to slug sweep. He's doing what you're suggesting. That goes big! Oh, you call it. You call it, Chris Gale. He was hitting over the offside. And that's not an easy shot, mind you. It disappears a far way over long off. He goes to 46 and a 50 now is in the cards.
Yeah, he really created that shot, really. I mean, it wasn't really that short, and he had to be Kennard Lewis to play that. I can tell you much. Such is the power of Lewis, such is the damage that he can do. Always going to look now to back away, hit with the turn. It's a powerful shot, really. He really created that shot.
That's the 100 mark from 9.4. Lewis has a chance to get a 50 here. Where will Francis bowl this? He's pitched up, and that's it down the ground. That's gone! That's Lewis's 50. That was a lovely shot. You don't want to pitch up to him. And he's punched that down the ground. Gets his 50. And it's 109 for 6. What a shot.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Flighted delivery. Hitting straight is Kennard Lewis. I think despite the drop catches, he has summed up the conditions well. Kennard Lewis is going to go straight
Francis
again.
balls. Will they catch him? My guess is that they won't. They're not going to catch him today. They do. They finally do. Lewis goes finally.
Well, they catch him off the final delivery.
They catch him off the final delivery, so probably wouldn't have mattered. So Lewis goes for a well-played half-century. He has given his team a fighting chance. 110 will be competitive. And after the first half of the innings, it's the Kings with 109 or 110, and let's see how the Royals go about the run chase.
Well, a very good total in a final, huge moment. Kennard Lewis, a big player, coming up big for the Surrey Kings. The Royals, they have some real power in their armory. I expect that. I'm not going to expect them to lay down and play dead. I think big players like Logan and Kuma Bonner will play a very, very key part in this run chase. They need to score just over 11 runs per over. This is going to be a real cracker here at Sabina Park. And we'll be back in probably another 5 or 4 minutes for this run chase. They need 111 to win from 10 overs to lift the Dream 11 T10 cricket competition here at Sabina Park.
So a decent total on the board. It's not particularly massive, but it's decent. And you can join us in about 10 minutes or so, and we'll have the Royals reply.
The combinations leading wicket taker, 2 overs, none for 22. Pete Savage, 2 overs, 2 for 17. Barry Campbell, 2 overs, 1 for 25. Raymond Senior, 2 overs, 2 for 14. And Ryan Francis, 2 overs, 2 for 29. The second on the wickets table, Ryan Francis, wicket number 14 and 15 in this inning. So the Royals will need 111 runs from their 10 overs to be crowned champions.
All right, welcome back to the Royals' reply. They need 111 from 60 balls, as you're seeing there, with Romain Morris and Leroy Lugg, the two opening batsmen. And it's going to be Leroy Lugg who will face the first ball. Lugg has been one of the finds of Jamaica cricket over the last 12 months or so. And Romain Morris has played some scintillating innings in this tournament. If these two get off, it could be all over bar the shouting. But anything could happen.
Well, this is a chance. Lugg-Morris partnership key. We said earlier that Lewis was the key. Morris got a half century in the last game. And Lugg has been brutal. And I think if these two get off, they could make a match of it. It's a big total in a final. I mean, it's a good total, 111 to get from 60. I think the fielding team just need to limit their mistakes. Don't drop catches as they did, as the Royals did.
Here is the first ball. What will we see from Lugg? Dennis is the bowler. And he's bashing that down towards Langan. He played that violently.
Early signs. Early signs. I think we're very much in for a show here, Orville. I think we're going to see the same thing from Morris. He normally starts from ball one.
I've been impressed with Morris. His reputation when he plays 4-day cricket for Jamaica or even 2-day cricket in our local senior cup is that he's a nice, tudgy stroke player. This T10 has revealed that the wicketkeeper batsman can be an audacious hitter of the ball at the top of the innings, and he's showing that in the tournament thus far.
He is small in stature, likes to come down the track. Reminds me of one of Sri Lankan's great, Sanat Jayasuriya, dashing short left-handed batsman.
Interesting field placing. There's a man back at mid-wicket and a square leg. And the short ball is hit directly to that man in that short mid-wicket position. So clearly they feel to Morris, we ain't pitching up to you. If anything, you're going to have to pull to that man in that very odd position. He's not a regulation mid-wicket, very straight. And that ball went directly to him. So some plans in the making now. The two people out for Lugg is Langan and a backward square. So the short ball could come. But if he heaves it over Langan, there's protection there as well. Here's Dennis to Lugg. And that's the short ball. And through to the keeper.
This is going to be an interesting one. Two very much power pack players, teams going at it in this final. Short delivery. Lugg is looking to hit the leather of the ball. Is Leroy Lugg. I tell you, if he connects one Orville, you probably will see a huge six.
He
one of the
really
biggest.
swung at that. Oh, that was a little bit more subtle. Better deliver that. And that is one of the areas that he has to work on. That back of a length delivery.
Outside
just
also,
off.
yeah, definitely.
Doesn't hit length deliveries through the offside.
I think when you look at it, he sets himself. He sets a base. Like he's just really want to slap everything to that wide long on area.
There you go.
So I think when it goes different, no, it creates a challenge.
That's the ball, but he's played it brilliantly. That was a lovely cut shot. He didn't try to badge at the ball. That showed some finesse about it. And it went down into the wide third man area for 4. That's a good shot.
Well, he's countered our argument as it relates to him outside the off stump. He played it late. He really used the pace of the bowler there. That's a nice shot. Nicely timed that from Lugg.
He means business. He's not going to be mucking around. And you can see just the way he gets into position. He's in a no-nonsense mood here. He pulls that. Oh, that is what I'm talking about. That was hit very powerfully through mid-wicket. It runs into the boundary. And it's 10 without loss after over number 1.
And you look at this from Dennis, short delivery. Lugg setting himself always for that short delivery and 4 runs. And hitting that one on the ground is Leroy Lugg. He's already 9 from 5. This is going to be a serious run chase. It's going to be important that Jermaine Blackwood uses his bowlers good, gets the angles right. I'm going to see the left arm spinner very much early in the piece.
Royal will be bowling from Michael Porting.
So it's Javo Royal. And he'll be bowling to Romain Morris. And the two people out, long on, backward square. So the aim clearly now is to bowl straight. I don't think you'll see too many deliveries wide of off stump because there's no protection in these first 2 overs.
This is a challenge, Marvin. Left-handed batsmen always like to see this matchup against the left-arm spinner, hitting to leg with the breeze.
Right. So the aim now, I think, is for Royal to bowl dead straight. Can't afford to be too wide outside off with a field like this. And like I said, the 2 men out, long on and deep mid wicket. So let's see. Has to be straight. That's outside off. Wasn't expected from Romain Morris, which is probably why he hit it, why he missed it.
I think not enough, a lot of pace on that delivery, and you can see the ball just angling away from the left-hander.
And again, wide of off stump. So he's fooled me. There's no protection on the boundary on the offside, but those 2 first deliveries were 12, 15 inches outside off. Maybe that is what is surprising Morris, who probably expected them to be straighter.
Yeah, he is, and looking also to hit straight. You can see Royal is not worried about spinning the ball. He's just really firing the ball across from out of that hitting arc of Romain Morris.
Yeah, certainly darting them through. Here is he again. That one is straight, and that one is hit. It goes into the boundary, over wide long on. And that was more the kind of delivery that I was expecting, but maybe he should have continued on that outside off some line.
Yeah, I think I was mindful again. You don't want to go in that arc with the ball, the angle that the left arm spinner creates into the left-handed batsman. It's a real free hit when you go too close. I think the outside off stump line is more better advised to bowl that line.
That is outside off, and that is what he didn't want. That's punched over cover, over extra cover. Wow! 6 lovely runs. He didn't overhit it. It was spanked, but not overhit. Look at that. It was a classic on your knee West Indian. Take that, Mr. Royal.
Yeah, that's a top shot from Morris. Always love to see that shot, Orville. Over extra cover on the up. Top class challenge. Morris definitely up for a final. He knows that he's here to play a final today.
Morris is a revelation in this tournament. He bangs and misses. He's now developed a reputation in one T10 tournament to be very dangerous at hitting the ball. Prior to this tournament, that was not the case. And he's made a name for himself at the top of the order. He's also a wicketkeeper, mind you, that he can be deadly. There he is. He's sitting over the offside. This will fall safely. And it runs pretty close to the boundary. In fact, it goes all the way for 4.
Yeah, I think he was looking to replicate that shot over extra cover again. But again, this one just peeling off the outside edge, going over backward point. But hey, the most important thing for the Royals and Morris, they're 24 without loss. This represents a very, very good start, Orville, right where they need to be. They have actually brought that required run rate down from over 11 to now just under 11. This is good.
Indeed, it is good. They started off needing just about 11. Or just about, what was the required rate? 110 means that 10.5.
Yeah, it was about 11 and a half they started at. They're now at 10, almost 11. So it has come down just a bit.
Well, it's Lugg who will take strike from Dennis, who will continue his second over. They need 87 from 48.
I think no, it's going to be interesting. He has the added protection with the power play up, so I think there's a little bit more protection for Dennis on that leg side.
Yeah, long on, deep mid wicket. Backward of square, only the cover out. Well, there's third man back as well. They expect him to hit leg side. And he's doing just that. But you don't need to do anything but recover that. He's hitting leg side. And you need fielders in the stands if you're going to stand a chance. The Royals have rushed up to 30. And Log muscles that one over wide long on for 6.
Yeah, I think Leroy Log looks tailor-made for white ball cricket. Really a powerful player, and you said it has been a real find in local cricket. Where was this power of Leroy Log all along? Good to see it. CPL, franchise cricket, watch out, because I think Leroy Log is one to watch.
You have to be wider outside off than that, and you have to hit length. Otherwise, he'll crucify you. That is the delivery. Outside off, length. That's your best chance. It could still disappear over cover, mind you. But I think that is the area that he's least likely to hurt you.
Yeah, definitely, because I think when you look at how he sets himself just to hit that wide long on, to hit that pull shot, there you go. The feet not really across there, pointing down to really that mid-wicket long on region, that front foot. I think something that Log has to start now, look to counter in his game, look to hit offside, over extra cover. He needs to target those areas as well.
And Dennis replicate that. He is up and it's gone! Wow! Don't pitch up. You want to be outside off, but you want it back of a length. You can't allow this very powerful man to be in his hitting arc. It wasn't a half volley, to be fair, but that was too full.
My.
Miles over long arm.
My word, and I think there you go, I said it. Leroy Log, if he bats probably another 3 to 4 overs, definitely think that the Royals will be lifting this $600,000 up for grub. This is sheer poor Orville. Real talent is Leroy Log, and the CPL is around the corner, and I'll be disappointed if I don't see him in the CPL. This kind of power is rare.
Dennis, what do you have? Oh, this could be a run out now. That one was hit into the pitch so hard it ballooned. Even if Log was standing on a ladder, he wouldn't get to that. And the fast bowler was unsettled. Look at that, he really hammered it into the pitch.
I think that delivery is a man that really, you have to say, is a bit stained by that shot that earlier from Leroy Log. It went on the top of the north stand with a crowd here. Very animated crowd here at Sabina Park. A lot at stakes. Andre Dennis, he's not liking this.
No. It's embarrassing when you hit the fast bowler back over his head like that, especially as far as that. And Dennis, his pride was hurt.
I think the thing about this pair is that both batsman Orville is coming at you. It's not just a Log. Morris, no, he's on strike. They're both coming at you. And it's such a hard pair to contain. Left hand, right hand combination. Very good for the Royals.
What will they do now? Morris backs away. He's asking Dennis to just wait. Settles himself. What have you got, Dennis? What have you got? He's got the brilliant Yorker up his armory. That's what he's got. He is right up. And Morris backing away to his own peril. And the stumps are shattered. The fast bowler is always happy to see the stumps cartwheeling like that. And first wicket goes down 38 for 1.
Yeah, brilliant delivery there from Dennis. Kept his nerve. He was under pressure. Both batsmen was coming at him. It was important that he kept his nerve. He did that to perfection. Executing that Yorker again. Look at it. Bang, on, off stump. Hitting out the off stump. Brilliantly bowled.
Yeah, it was a good delivery. And the Yorker is always a very brave delivery, because if you're not full enough by 6 inches, it turns into a hittable delivery in the arc. And then Kruma Bonner steps out at 3. The required rate now 9.9. Bonner will offer a calm, cool head. One of the more calm cricketers in the West Indies. Never ever appear to be flustered.
No, I think he is exactly the kind of player that you want for a final. And he will be a good
Looks around
partner
the field
for Log, who is on the charge.
Bonner's first delivery, crucial wicket. If they get him here, they're in business. And that's a good delivery. Yorker length right up. He went for it again, but Bonner's intent was a little more sedate than the intent of Morris. And he gets an easy single, stroking it up to mid-off.
I think Dennis has realized that he has to start that bowling very early. We're used to Dennis that bowl that back of a length delivery so much in this tournament. But I think in this match, he's been put under pressure. And his response is to come full, look for that Yorker.
It's a great final, still competitive. The required rate at 10. Lug's wicket is crucial. The bowler knows that too. Checked his run.
Intimidated by Leroy Lugg.
He doesn't want to run in and bowl unless he feels absolutely comfortable. Long off comes in the circle. And let's see the change.
Change in the field here from Jeremy
So
Blackwood.
This is a brave move.
Still no one on the top of North Stand.
So nobody at long off. The 3 people in the field in the ring on the offside. Well, 2 people in the ring on the offside. They are at mid-off and extra cover. And then there's a backward screen, a short front leg. He can't pitch up outside off with the long off coming in. Length ball hitting the air down towards long on. This could be a wicket. It is. Long goes. And Dennis says, off you go, Mr. Lug. And do we have a nail-biting final or what here, Chris Gale?
Well, that's a huge wicket. Just saying that I think the change of pace there, change of length correction outside the off stump. That's
back
yep.
of a length.
Yep.
That is the delivery.
And he was looking to drag that one. That's a big wicket though. And I think Dennis has done himself well. He has come back really well in this over after they've been hit on the top of the north stand. He has gone bang, bang, 2 wickets. Big over for Dennis, big over for the Surrey Kings.
And now we have a final. I'm neutral here, Chris Gale. I wanted to see a great final. Didn't want to see anything one-sided. I wanted a contest. And if we could get a super over, fine with me. And we
got a super over a couple of days ago.
Final is very, very interestingly poised at the moment. This is what you want for a championship decider. And Javel Glenn steps out.
2 teams that is packed with a lot of talent. They're packed with power. They're packed with skill. They're packed with good first-class players who have played international cricket also. And Kruma Bonner now, he has a chance to really stamp his class on this game. A lot of eyes will be on Nkrumah Bonner here. Will be interesting how he plays it from here. Just over 10 runs per over to get.
Interestingly, Javel Glenn wanted to face, and then the umpire said, no, Mr. Bonner. Once there's a wicket, you hadn't done the required thing to be at the other end. So the umpires are meeting again. What are they having a discussion about?
I'm wondering if it has anything to do with that Bonner and Javel Glenn not crossing.
The umpires
the ball was in there for a long time. I would have find it very difficult not if the batsman had not crossed. Yeah.
So now the umpires are saying, no, Mr. Glenn, it should be you on strike. He was about to face, then switched around, now he's back. And it all adds to the drama. All adds to the sense of occasion. And all makes it more tense for all concerned.
I think it has been a good final so far. When you look where we're at now, some 13 overs in this final so far. Almost 150 runs scored. I think it has been good. Well, 150 runs has been scored in the final so far. It has been a good final. We have seen Lewis, we have seen excitement, we have seen catches going down. I think probably the only disappointment has been the quality of the fielding early on. Well, I think such is a final that we'll see the nerves of players probably getting the better of them.
Lots of arm waving. Jermaine Blackwood is allowing Javel Glenn to wait. So Blackwood, the captain, maneuvering his troops, getting everybody in the right position. A lot of this is mind play. A lot of it is tactical. You want your feelers in the right place. But a lot of it is saying, Javel, you are going to wait.
And looking to slow things down after that onslaught from Lug.
Royal to Glenn. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. And that's the shot of a man who knows he's in a very tense final.
Yeah, I think it will be a case of which team hold their nerves for a more sustained, a longer period throughout these 10 overs or last.
Royal to Glenn, it's in the air. They're converging on it. They're taking it. All of that delay has worked. Javel Glenn getting one just back of a length. Oh my goodness, try to hit it somewhere. Maybe attempting, let's see, he was probably trying to drag that through mid-on and got the leading outside edge. And look, they're all converging on it. But the keeper is always the person who gets the opportunity to take the catch. Javel Glenn goes as captain and has the momentum shifted towards the Kings.
Yeah, it has. I think that was a poor shot from Glenn. Delivery that was outside the stump, looking to drag it over to that mid-wicket region. The shot was just not on. And this now, you saw Jermaine Blackwood just holding down things a bit, slowing down things, and this is working. Royal into the attack. A very good operator. Bonner now holds the key.
Nkrumah Bonner, what have you got? He's taking his guard. New batsman is Brown, 39 for 3. And Bonner calmly punches up towards, the bowler looks to be injured. He was rather limping at that as they take the single. Something seems to be going wrong with Royal. And there he is. Looks like hamstring injuries. I don't think you could get the ball out of his hands at the moment. Will he stay on the park?
Well, he seems to be okay. That's good. And probably a little bit of cramps.
That's hamstring stretching
I saw him earlier. He was with the physio and he was doing some stretch to that said hamstring. So probably has some issues with it.
Yeah, there is he. You could see clearly that he was in a lot of discomfort. Now Brown on strike. Whatever you got, Mr. Brown. He is certainly on the evidence of that. Didn't have anything to a ball that he should have been able to get back to ball to. Maybe a little bit more pace than he anticipated. Really rushed through to the keeper. Royal. And he pulls that. Lovely shot. That goes for 4. Well, that was a gift. It was dragged down, but he stayed calm. And wasn't the best of balls, but you still have to hit it. And that should ease the pressure somewhat. It disappears down to mid-wicket for 4.
Yeah, that's a nice shot. I think the most important thing is that he picked that gap with precision. A really good shot from Brown.
Royal to Brown. He works that again through that mid-wicket region. This time 2 straight to get back. The second, where on earth is he going? And a single taken. And we make that now 45 for 3 from 4. Required rate 11. Still anybody's game. 66 from 36. We're having the kind of final that the competition certainly deserves. Where's your money, Chris Gale? I don't have any money, so I won't be able to bet.
I don't have any money, but I'll give you my perspective. And my perspective is that the Kings, I think the Kings have enough. I think they have shown enough for me in this tournament that they have enough guts. When you look at Kenroy Williams now, the leg spinner, the variety that they possess, I think it's going to be difficult. And I think that wicket off Log was a huge wicket. And unless Bonner plays a real gem, but I think so far I'm going with the Kings.
All right. Bonner's wicket is crucial, absolutely crucial. he needs to be there and bat as deep as he possibly can without slowing down the rate. You don't want it to start getting to 13 and 14 per over. The leg spin of Williams to Brown. And Brown is cutting. That's a good shot. This could run all the way down to the boundary. That's 4. Well, Brown is saying, I'm here too. We've been talking about Bonner a lot, but Brown has now played 2 brilliant shots on both sides of the wicket. That audacious pull shot, followed by that slap past point. And could he be an unlikely hero in this final?
Looks a busy player is Carlos Brown. We have not seen much of him from this tournament, but here he is in the final and looks like he's up for the challenge. He's really played well. His gap picking has been good. He's playing the spin as well. This is good. This is good to see. Good signs for the Royals.
Sometimes a final brings out the best in previously unheralded players, because there's absolutely no pressure on him, really. He's not one of the fanciest names. Not Lugg, not Bonner, not Morris. Brown drives up towards cover for 1. He's looked businesslike. He's looked calm.
And he's middling the ball to perfection.
Definitely.
Yep.
10 from 5. Brings Bonner back on strike. Now what does Bonner do? Does he be a little bit more sedate and allow the younger Brown to have his head? Or does he now step on the gas as well?
I think it has to be has to take calculated risk. I think Bonner is a fine player that can just play normal cricket shots and still score at a healthy run rate.
Oh my goodness! Was that the Google that came back? That almost took the stumps of Bonner. Let's see if that one came back. Almost. Maybe the arm ball, Bonner was backing away, expecting it maybe to spin away from him. Wow, that was close.
Yeah, that delivery did really turn. Just sliding on. And I wonder if there was an outside edge on that one.
Williams. And Bonner pulls that. Yes, it disappears into the boundary for 6. And the leg spinners are always likely to drag one down. You're not going to get away by bowling short to Bonner. He plays the pull shot as well as anybody in this competition, especially off the spinners. And was a little bit closer to the fieldsman than his liking, but it's 6 more. And let's see what Williams will have here. That's punched off the back foot up to long off for 1.
I like this from Bonner. It shows control, a level of calmness that he's bringing to the crease. This is key. This is good from Bonner.
Yeah. So Brown has been impressive so far. What will he do now? And he's slapping that pass point. That's a lovely shot. Wow. Brown is playing a proper little cameo here, and these are not swiping. He's playing some proper cricketing shots, and I tell you what, he's calming the nerves of the Royal supporters. Look at this shot. Lovely cricket shot. That's a lovely cut shot, not the easiest of shots, and he's ensured that his team is still in the hunt.
Yeah, I think we've seen some shots from Carlos Brown of the highest caliber. It has not been, there's no shot in anger. He's absolutely playing proper cricket shots. He's timing the ball, and guess what? He's playing on the offside. All of those boundaries on the offside. Really good to see. Yeah, he played a pull shot, but I think he's scoring all around the ground. So it shows that he's a busy player and can score anywhere. This is good.
I'm impressed. What has he been doing in the tournament so far? He's coming to the final. Everybody was talking about Lugg and Morris and Bonner, and he's played 14 from 6. Now it doesn't sound like a lot, but he's played with such assurance, and sometimes it's not just the amount of runs, but it's the reassurance that how you look gives to your dressing room. He is batting as if to say, my team, this is ours. We've got it all covered.
Yeah, we've seen real confidence in him. His swagger, his mannerism says it, that I'm up for the final. And I think it's something that the players that are to come, they can feed off what he's doing out there. And I think they definitely should be still believing. It has come down a bit, Orville. Just 10. exactly 10 runs and over.
You
This
couldn't-
is going to be a cracker. 50 from 30, an absolute cracker this is going to be.
You wouldn't want it to be any more finely balanced than this. 50 from 30, with 3 wickets down. The West Indies middle order batsman at the crease. And he works that out towards backward square. They get 1, and Bonner wants a second. This could be tight. No. It was a yes, no situation. In the end,
Don't want to run out. No.
No, you don't. They opted for discretion.
I think Bonner is playing with such ease, gets the singles easily, can pick the bowlers off pretty easily. I think they just need to get the odd boundary in the over, get the singles, and they will stay on track, and this will go down to the wire.
One good over with bat or ball could determine the game. A good over here with a wicket could go a far way into deciding the final. And over that cost 15 could do it for the Royals.
It looks like the advantage has just gone to the Royals here.
Yeah, maybe just. Parnell. And that's it on the pad. They didn't appeal. And 2 from 2. The Kings will feel we are okay with this.
I think the Royals are pretty pleased. There is one man who has been destructive at the back end of the innings. He's Pete Salmon. He is still left. And 48 to get from 28. This is very much manageable.
It's quite a final, though. I like it as a neutral. Love what I'm seeing. Parnell to Bonner. Oh, he was squared up. That must have moved. Bonner was initially attempting to stroke out towards mid-wicket. Maybe that late movement, but this is the over that the Kings would have wanted, just to settle things down, just to get themselves back into the game. And then Nkrumah Bonner could do absolutely nothing with that.
Needs a boundary in the over somewhere is Bonner.
Right now, pushing back towards 11. Left arm Parnell. That's pushed over middle wicket, over square leg. It's gone! And Nkrumah Bonner has perished, hitting it dead on to the man at square leg. He's living with himself, and he couldn't have picked out the man much easier than that. That could be the wicket that spells curtains for the Royals. He's a catch in the end, and Bonner has to go.
Yeah, I think Bonner trying to hit to one of the more difficult side that we have seen so far in the match, trying to hit into that breeze. I think probably would have more advised to wait until he gets to the other end, and then probably to hit to that the Kingston Cricket Club side. And that's where we have seen the sixes. That's where we have seen the runs really as it relates to the heavy hitting. And I think it's a misjudgment, that one from Bonner. But that's a timely wicket though.
Whoa. Salmon will face, or is it Brown will face?
It's be Brown.
It's Brown who's going to be facing. So all getting rather exciting. We've been impressed by Brown, and now he may very well have to be the man for the Royals here. Gets one down the leg side, and this could be tight. If that hit, that could be tight, you know. The wicketkeeper was on the ground, so the throw had lost some of the power.
Yeah, he still had the gloves on also. Have to flash that gloves off in a flash.
It's a good over from Parnell.
Yeah, just the 3 runs from it. In the context of the game, a wicket off Nkrumah Bonner. This is a massive over.
It's a great final. And Pete Salmon, what can he do? More known for his off spin, but he's also a very dangerous lower order hitter. His team needs him right now. 600,000 Jamaican dollars on offer. And he works that calmly out towards fine leg, onto the boundary for 4. Oh, Parnell, that was not the greatest of deliveries, Mr. Parnell. And it's the end of the over, and this fascinating game of T10 cricket continues. Bad ball. If you want to get off the mark, that's the kind of ball that you would want every day of the week. Nice, juicy half volley on leg And Pete Salmon says thank you very much, down to fine leg for 4.
Easy pickings for Salmon. They needed the boundary in the over to stay on track. They have gotten the boundary. And again, Orville 43 from 24. Batting team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say super over. I say it's a very, very even game at the moment. The batting team, I think, are more likely to suffer from nerves than the fielding team. And their mistakes might prove a little bit more costly.
I think there's also the power play that is now, I think, which will be crucial. I think this over could decide this contest.
Are they taking it now?
Yep.
Yes.
I think this could decide this contest.
So they are taking the power play right now, which means only 2 fielders can be outside the circle. And at the moment, that's cover, right back, long off, right back. Are you okay with taking the power play now?
Yeah, I think now is an opportunity to take it, and you don't want to leave it for too late. I think if they can take it now and get probably another 18, 20 runs
Why
on
not
this
take
over,
it when Bonner was batting?
could be.
He's arguably your calmest head and your best batsman.
But I think the end that they have taken it from is also good, because we have seen most of the 6 hitting going to this from this end.
Oh.
So I think taking it from this end is also good. And Pete Salmon can hit the ball.
Well, it's long off and cover the 2 fielders out, so he doesn't want to be too straight. That's the line. That's it. High and hard. Whoa! Has anything been hit bigger than that? Maybe just. And look at how casually he deposited that over long off. And Pete Salmon, he doesn't look to be too flustered.
I tell you, Orville, I think if the Royals should go on to win this game, definitely Carlos Brown has played this really well, timing the ball really good. Majestic shot that was really.
That was Brown. I thought it was that was Brown.
Yeah, it is.
He continues to do as well as he's doing. That's another lovely shot. That's gone. Oh my goodness. Carlos Brown. What an innings he's playing here. What an innings is Carlos Brown playing here. Attempted Yorker, not full enough, missed his length by maybe 6 inches. And this is as good an innings under pressure in a final as you could see. And he's not slugging, really.
That was
he's
on
very
drive.
calmly depositing the balls as if, what's all the fuss about? Wow. He's hitting that further than the last one. Well, we've run out of words. Carlos Brown, this is his highest score. So it's not as if prior to now, he's dominated. He's come into this tournament not scoring higher than 32. And he's coming to the final and taking it by the scruff of the neck. And he's playing, I would think now, a match-winning innings. The Royals would have to be very careless to lose from here.
Well, we said it, power play over, chance to kill this game off, chance to grab this game, chance to grab that $600,000. But here, this is a chance that Carlos Brown has taken with 2 hands. He has announced himself that he is one of the biggest talents, or one of the better talents that we have in local cricket. This has been a really good exhibition of clean ball striking.
What immaculate hitting down the ground. Orion Williams, 3 balls, 3 sixes. He's been treated with absolute disdain here by Carlos Brown. 32 from 11. He's hit this down the ground. This could run pretty close to the boundary. No, it is. It goes for 4. And again, it's another authentic cricket shot when you can hit the ball back past the bowler all along the ground. Oh, what an innings here, Carlos Brown. Look at that. He stays calm. The head stays still. Didn't try to beat the leather off the ball. What an innings under pressure.
Yeah. Innings of the highest caliber. Innings of real grace and class. There
And
you
look
go
at
again.
that. Down the track and punching out to cover. Carlos Brown. Love it. Has Carlos Brown ensured that the Royals are gone with this? The required rate now is 6.5.
Well, I think they have got themselves into a really good position. It will be disappointing if they do not go over the line at the moment. I think it is the Royals. I think they're going to finish this off. Pete Solman is also dangerous.
And Salmon whacks that out towards mid-wicket. And they're coming back for a second. The wheels coming off now for the Kings. That is the fielding side of a team that is flustered, that sees the title slipping away from them. We'll see some cheering in the stands. And the Royals just needing another 18 from 18 balls. And they say it's not over until the fat lady sings. And the lady, I would suggest clearing our throat. Carlos Brown's 37 from 13. Is it 4 sixes? He's at 4 fours and 3 lovely sixes. Salmon, he's only 6 from 2. But that O'Reilly Williams over where he conceded 25 was just too much. That over was not the kind of over that the Kings would have wanted to see being bowled at this stage. And with 18 from 18, it's difficult to see the Royals losing from here. But stranger things have happened in cricket. The game, they say, of glorious uncertainties.
Orville, I think with the momentum that I've seen them with, I think it's important that they continue to go. They continue to be positive, continue to look for the boundaries, continue to look to kill this game off.
And it's going to be, is it Williams? It's Wilson, the new bowler. And Wilson and the team just meeting to decide what's the course of action. Somebody runs out with a hat for Brown. And it's a spinner who will be coming, so he gets rid of the helmet. I'm sure 1 or 2 quick advice was passed on to him as well. He's played an absolute perler here as Carlos Brown. And very rarely you see somebody making 37 from 13 balls and look so composed. Yes, he's going at the balls, but it's not out and out blind swiping. He's playing absolute proper shot.
Yeah, I think he's one of the, probably, I think for me it is the innings of the tournament that I've seen so far. No shot in anger, all cricket shots all around the ground. And he seems to be a real talent, is Carlos Brown. Match winning innings this is turning out to be.
Williams. And Brown is bowled. After we have praised him, he went for 1 shot too many. And maybe that's the 1 shot that he went for that had a little agriculturousness about it. Bowled. But that 37 from 14 has ensured that his team are well within sight. But have we seen one more twist to the game, Chris Gale?
Very difficult, still very difficult for the Royals to lose it from here. But a flighted delivery down the track, he was his Brown. He deserves all the praises he gets today, because I think that was a fine innings, innings of the highest caliber, innings with grace, class, top class innings, that one from Carlos Brown.
Just like to see the dismissal again. And why would he miss that? He was hitting towards leg to the leg spinner, which is never the most advisable thing to do. Maybe he should have hit with the spin. Here's it again. He was hitting towards leg. I don't think that there was too much turn, but he probably would have been better advised to hit the leg spinner, maybe towards a straightish long off. There he was aiming towards mid-wicket. And was a little disappointed in the end, but I think if his team goes on to win here, he'd be as good a candidate for man of the match as anybody else. That 37 from 14 deliveries was absolutely vital. Now Senior is the man on strike, and can Williams inflict more damage here? Oh, Pressure. Dot ball through to the keeper.
Important that Senior gets back to ball and remain calm and don't really let the situation of a final get to him. Just need to get back onto ball.
That one spun.
Yep.
That one spun. Haven't seen too many going off straight, but that one did spin. Oh, that one spun again, and Senior negotiating it for the single.
I think here for the Warriors, I think from this end, what I would do, Orville, is just look to hit the ball deep, get the singles from this end. Then when you go back to the other end, you look to hit because of the breeze that is blowing and how challenging it has been to hit from this end to the leg side and down the ground.
Will Salmon pay a little respect to the leg spinner, or will he try to launch him somewhere? My advice, get a single. He hits in the air down towards long off for one. They're coming back for the second. Should be getting it in the end. So that's 2 more runs. Salmon goes up to 6. He goes up to 8 indeed, and it's 96 now for 5.
I think that's what they need to do. Hit the ball deep, run hard for 2, and they should be good.
No need to take any undue risks. That's in the air and falling safely. Peeling off the top edge. It's not over yet.
It's going the way of the Royals.
The Royals would be the happier of the 2 teams, but it's not over yet. There may still be a twist. Raywin Senior now back on strike. And what will he do now? He is just punching it back to the bowler. He's saying, I'm going to respect you, Mr. Williams. Not trying anything too rash or too dramatic. And what we're left with is 12 from 12. And it has come down. You can't want it any closer than this. Can't want it any closer than this. So they need 14 rather from 12. The target is 111. 14 from 12 should be pretty regulation going here, Chris. Shouldn't be too difficult for the Royals, but you don't want to lose 1 or 2 wickets and then panic may just set in.
I think they want to maximize as much from this over. Don't want to leave too much for that last over. If you leave probably another 8 runs for that last over, then you just give the Surrey Kings something, some sort of belief or hope that they can make a match of it. You want to get as much as you can from this over. This is the over.
So Parnell. Parnell, what have you got, Mr. Parnell? Can you keep your nerve? Mr. Salmon, over to you. And again, they're taking time to adjust the field. Whatever happens, we've had a final worthy of the T10 competition here. It is a worthy final. Do we have some more drama to come? Or will Pete Salmon just ensure that it doesn't get to any last over dramatics? Will he look to finish it off here? Parnell 1 for 5 from his first over. Here's the left arm pacer. That's hit back at the bowler. This will run down towards long on. And they're coming back for a second. This could be tight. It's a needless run out. Like I said, the pressure of a final does crazy things to people. There was never a second run in that. And I understand Pete Salmon wants to get back on strike. But was that necessary? Was that necessary for Raywin Senior to take such a risky single or a risky second?
No, I don't think it was. They have 6 wickets down. There's anything can happen in these last 2 overs. Absolutely anything. I think Raywin Senior is a very, very handy batsman. So I think there was really no need for that second run.
They want Pete Salmon on strike. He's the senior man. But really, clearly not at the expense of a run out. The new batsman is Hay.
It was also a very good show also under pressure. Final, it was excellent that the fielder did well, kept his calm. It was right alongside the stump. That was very much important.
Can Hay make hay while the sun is shining here at Sabina Park? He's the non-striker. Will Salmon try to win it on his own? Will he take a single anyway? Because that first mishap shows that he wants to be the man facing. Let's see his approach. Parnell takes his time. Says you have to
Mighty
wait.
time he's taking.
And he drives out towards cover. He does take that single. And Hay, what a time to get your first delivery. Your team needs, what is that now, 12 from 10?
12 runs to get.
What does he do? Does he get Pete Salmon on strike?
Yeah, he has to. He has to just get bat and ball, a lot of space out there for the single. Probably would have loved to see Jermaine Blackwood just getting an extra fielder on the leg side to stop that single. An opportunity here. He's looking around his Blackwood. Let's see what he does.
Pete Salmon coming up to have a word with Hay. What do you think he said? Get me on strike.
Bat and ball. Get me back on strike.
Get
I'm
me
the
on
man.
strike. Will Hay attempt anything overly ambitious? Or will he follow what we think is the plot? Get him on strike. He goes for glory. He goes for the whoosh across the line.
I don't think that was pretty much smart from here. I think he should be just looking to push that delivery and get, you look at it, good length delivery and swinging wildly at that one. He needs to just get bat and ball. These are priceless. There's dot balls.
And the wicketkeeper knows that someone wants to be back on strike. The minute he collected, he was darting towards the stumps. They don't want someone on strike. They want Hay on strike. Can Hay do something special here?
I think we have a real tense game on our hands here.
What a final. Hay is hitting out towards cover. Oh, the nerves have been settled. He gets his single. He gets Salmon back on strike. As far as Hay is concerned, job done. Over to you, Mr. Senior Partner Salmon.
I think if Salmon can get a boundary here, I think that will really put a little bit more calm in that dressing room now. You think the Kings, they're just sensing that they can claw their way into this contest.
They get Pete Salmon out now. It could be interesting. Salmon batting in front of the stumps. He cuts a lovely shot. That goes into the boundary at point. That's 4. Now that shot may very well have settled the nerves of the Royals. Now you see why Pete Salmon wants to be on strike. He feels he can do it. And that shot was a telling blow.
I think I was very disappointed with that delivery. Too much whipped and off. I had to be a bit more straighter with that Yorker length delivery. Third man was in the circle. It was a risky delivery. Would love to see the replay on that. But I mean, 7 to get from 7 deliveries. I think he has to look now for a boundary. As you see, it's a risky delivery.
I want to be a little bit more sympathetic to the bowler than you are on this occasion. They don't want to bowl too straight to Pete Salmon because it will disappear somewhere between the side screen and wide long on. And they have a cover back. They have a backward point back on the, well, maybe two-thirds of the way
So we're going to
back.
have to blame the captain then, because now he's putting himself in that deep point region for that wide Yorker.
Right. But a wide Yorker executed well is not the worst ball, and the bowler went there. It was just, you have to give credit to the shot. It was a really good shot as well. And because Pete Salmon is standing pretty much covering all his stumps, you expect, you know that he wants to hit straight or through the onside. And that is why he's telling the bowler that I am covering up all my stumps. The bowler bowled wide, he followed it, executed the shot well. Advantage Salmon. But I do have a little sympathy for Parnell.
I think now the field is set for that.
Right.
I think we see Longan has come into Milan, so we expect it to be again outside that off
Right.
stump wide.
Now he can't be straight and full.
Nope.
So now he has to be wide outside off. And that's disappeared. That's what he doesn't want. That is what Pete Salmon wants. And that means that the Royals, do they still need a run? I think they still need a run. 1 run to get from 6 balls. You can't be straight. The long on was brought in. Pete Salmon wants you to bowl straight. And he has hit that perfectly over wide mid wicket. And the Royals, well, they're sitting on the threshold of the first title in the inaugural staging of the Jamaica T-10 tournament. And the Royals are on their way.
You have to feel for Parnell, not the first time that he's been involved in this kind of situation, not the first time that he has come on the, you would say, the bad end of the stick. I think the Royals, they have played as a team. They have stuck to their guns. Their big players has come up trumps in this tournament. One of them is Pete Salmon, but hey, I think Carlos Brown, how important that innings was. He has set this game up for the Royals, really.
Man of the match for me.
Yep, easily.
Man of the match for me. Unless, of course,
there is a wicket made.
unless, of course, Williams can get 5 wickets in this over. But what a game. The smattering of spectators that are here at Sabina Park, they have been treated to a proper cricket game. It doesn't matter the length of the game. I can appreciate all varieties, all forms of the game. You want to play 1 over a side, I'm good.
I think what I've been impressed is that I've still seen some good cricket, even though it's T10. I think you still have to get the basics right. The fundamentals has to be right. We see Carlos Brown in the final playing proper cricket, hitting shots, not swiping, hitting the ball to all parts of the ground. And his innings is the standout innings in a final, in a T10 game.
So, as expected, Blackwood has everybody inside the circle. Well, except for a man at deep mid wicket. 1 over, 1 run to win for the Royals. Orion Williams to Hay. And Hay has the opportunity now to hit the run that seals it for the Royals. And like I said, they're all in the circle at the moment except for the man at deep mid wicket. Here's Williams. Is this the delivery? That seals it. It is! It is hit down over long off. That's 4. The Royals have won it. They have won by 4 wickets. They have beaten the Kings in a very, very exciting final here at Sabina Park. They have taken the inaugural T10 title, and a wonderful competition has come to a wonderful end. The Royals 111 for 6, and that was the shot that did it. And in the end, the Royals kept their cool, they kept their calm. There were some stutters along the way, but in the end, the Royals have prevailed. The Dream 11 Jamaica T10 final has gone to the Royals, and the inaugural staging of this rather lovely tournament has come to an end, with Royals taking it by 4 wickets in the final here at Sabina Park. Chris Gale, your opportunity to put a cap on a wonderful competition.
17 days of cricket. It tested the fitness of the players. It tested their skills, their mental capacity. And in the end,
At the end of
It is the Royals who has won and has ticked all the box of those tests of skills, decision making, fitness. They have reigned supreme here at Sabina Park. A team led and coached by Terence Cork, and of course having the personnel of the likes of Leroy Lugg, Nkrumah Bonner. But that aside, it had a good support staff in the likes of Ryan Francis and Carlos Brown. Those two players were very much instrumental in this final, and it showed you that they didn't have a team of just big name players. They had a team, they had a squad of depth, and they are rightful winners here in this Dream 11 T10 cricket competition. We now is going to head over to the post-match presentation, and of course Carlos Brown definitely should be the man of the match. We left that to be seen.
and they got there for the last.
Fix your face, man. Nice game. Jacko. What? Can't drink in my back. I swear go, man. I put game, man. Good grass game.
check.
Sports at the acknowledging while you were in the World Athletics Championships, he was the one behind the scene ensuring that every
Ladies and gentlemen, please bow our heads as we say prayer. Dear Lord, we begin to know this. This great game of cricket, we have completed an era of inactivity, and with your help and with the help of the board and the players, cricket partner in the calendar, we beg thy guidance for our families, for our friends, for journey mercies back to our respective homes and clubs, and we give us thank you for having us here and having a beautiful day. We pray that we'll consider the success that we have enjoyed so far. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
thank you so much, Mr. Anthony Kingsley. Welcome will be done now by Mr. Ian Spencer, Director of the JCA.
Thank you. Microphone check. Check 1, 2. Microphone check. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Jamaica Cricket Association, I want to welcome you to our grand finale of the Dream T10 cricket competition. And I want us to ask you one question. Were you not entertained? We were treated to a fabulous day of cricket. And just to establish the protocol, our president of the Jamaica Cricket Association, Mr. Wilford Billy Heavens, second vice president is here. Fitz Harris is also here. Our honor secretary, Dan Campbell. Treasurer, Kerry Scott. Chairman of the various franchises and for all the teams who have been here. Players, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We just want to welcome you this evening. It's been the rebirth of cricket. We have had a 2-year lull due to the COVID pandemic, but as you saw today, cricket is back and very strong. So we want to thank you all, also to our supporters who have come out to support the cricket, and of course the champion team and the run-up team. Welcome all. Today is all about cricket, it's all about you, so we're not gonna take too long in terms of speeches, but we just want to welcome you all to our tournament, and we look forward to a rather productive evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Spence, all the way from St. Mary. We continue the presentation with the President of the Jamaica Cricket Association. We'll give the President's address, Mr. Wilford Billy Evans.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a pleasure to be here this afternoon to witness the final of the T10 tournament. I think we will all agree that we have had a good tournament, some good matches, 6 good teams in the tournament, but more importantly perhaps is that it marks the return of cricket to Jamaica after a 2-year break, and we all know the reason for that. It was indeed a spectacular, all the events that took place here, all the matches, and I want to congratulate each and everyone who make this happen. There are lots of teams, lots of groups that make it happen. We have the Dream 11 team out of India, and they were part of the sponsorship deal, the JCA being the other partner. We have all our marquee players on show, except for 4 who are in India in the IPL. We have our match officials, our referees, match referee, and our umpires. We have our scorers. We have the technical team that produced the feed, live stream. We have our commentators, and even more importantly, our groundsmen, the county committees and the chairs, directors and staff of the JCA. And towards the back end of the competition, we had Sportsmax that joined us in the streaming and broadcasting of the tournament. It is the first time in the history of my tenure at the JCA that we are playing cricket along the county structure, and I believe it has worked well. The T10 format is also, at this level by the way, is also a first. We had played T10 when I just took over the JCA maybe some 5-6 years ago. And if you notice, this tournament was importantly player-centric, so we had our best players on show. I want us to understand one important thing, that this is the inaugural tournament, and we should expect some teething pain, and we had some. But it was the learning curve experience that was important to us. We have some lessons to learn. We will learn them. And there will be changes to be made, and we will make them as well. So you can expect a better next year should that happen. The JCA will do its postmortem. We'll analyze what took place during this tournament, and we'll also do a pre-mortem on the way forward for the next tournament next year. Overall, it was an exciting 17 days of cricket, and no one can deny the fun that we all have here. As a matter of fact, I want to say to you that I have not watched any IPL cricket in the last 17 days. I was focused on this, not because I'm the president, but because this was, to me, at the local level, it was on par. I want to laud all the teams that participated. And I want to congratulate the two finalists. I want to say to the Kings, well played. By the way, this was a really, really good final. And I want to say to the Royals, you really rule the roost. So congratulations to the winners and to the second place, the Kings, and my good friend, Mr. Blackwood. I want to commend you also for the entertainment that you bring to us, both individually and severally and jointly. So on behalf of the JCA, thanks to everyone who participated. Have a good afternoon, and I look forward to seeing most of you, if not all of you, in the All-Ireland competition which starts on Saturday. God bless you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much to President of the JCA, Wilford Billy Heaven. Did I hear him say $1 million up for grabs next year? Did he say that? Probably. Thank you so much, President Wilford Billy Heaven. Fantastic tournament. Once again, I must say congratulations to both finalists, the Surrey Royals and the Surrey Kings. It's now time for the presentation ceremony. I will invite the Honorary Secretary, Mr. Diane Campbell, to make the first presentation. And the first presentation will be to the match officials, Mr. Colin O'Brien. The umpires are from today, and Mr. Robert Foster. Give them a round of applause. The game was well officiated. No controversial calls.
No, Colin. Step back.
Presentation there to Mr. Foster and now Mr. Colin Bryan. Mr. Colin Bryan there. And one more before you go, Mr. Campbell, the match referee, Mr. Norman Malcolm. Round of applause to Mr. Malcolm. Thank you so much, Honorary Secretary, Mr. Diane Campbell. And now the individual awards. And we will start with the most runs, and the winner for this award will collect $30,000, and the winner with 302 runs didn't take part in the final, and the winner for that, John Campbell. I understand John Campbell might not be here, so can a representative collect it for John Campbell? It will be presented by the Honorary Treasurer, Sir Kerry Scott. There's Mr. Scott, and Mr. Ian Spencer will collect the award for John Campbell. 302 runs for John Campbell in the competition. The Jamaica Scorpions captain, the West Indies opening batsman. Congratulations to him. Thank you so much, Mr. Scott, and to Mr. Spencer. The next presentation, Director of JCA, Anthony Davis. You saw him earlier. He will make the presentation. And it will be to the wicketkeeper with the most dismissals. And he will collect $25,000. And the winner with 8 dismissals, Javoy Spence. And Javoy making his way down from the George Headley stand. Give him a round of applause, Javoy Spence. 8 dismissal in the competition. He can only get better from here. Congratulations. So here he is once again, Javoy Spence. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
being presented firstly with the check and then the trophy. You can probably leave without the trophy, but not the check. $25,000 for Javoy Spence. The next presentation will be done by Mr. Keith Campbell. Mr. Campbell. And this one is for the fielder with the most catches. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Did it with the bat today. Carlos Brown. Congratulations to Carlos Brown. 37 with the bat today, but he's not been awarded for his performance with the bat, but in the field, outstanding. And the chair will suggest that with $20,000, Carlos will be buying the drinks this evening. And now as it relates to the final, the man of the match. We had some outstanding performance. 2 from Kenar Lewis, 37 from Carlos Brown. And before we get to that, I'm being told that we must acknowledge the bowler with the most wicket. And that one will be presented by Mr. Kerry Scott again. Will it be? I'm going to ask Mr. Fritz Harris. Is Fritz here to make the presentation? Here's Mr. Harris to make the presentation. And he knows himself. Nicholson Gordon. 18 wickets in the competition, Nicholson Gordon. By far the most outstanding bowler. Congrats, and you will lift more than one trophy this afternoon. Thank you so much, Mr. Harris. And now as it relates to the Man of the Match award, I said we had some outstanding performances, but this player stood out because he did it with both bat and ball. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the final, the man of the match, Pete Salmon. 2 for 17 with the ball and then 21 not out. Important 21 runs for Pete Salmon. And also important with ball in hand. And the presentation will be made by Mr. O'Neill Cruikshank. He's the operations manager of the Jamaica Cricket Association. And Pete Salmon will also walk away with $15,000 for his performance. Once again, congratulations to Pete Salmon. 2 for 17 and 21 not out to help his team to victory. And the next presentation will be made by Mr. Courtney Francis, the CEO of the Jamaica Cricket Association. And again, it will be Mr. Ian Spence to collect in the absence of the man with the most runs. He's also the MVP for the tournament. John Campbell ends with an average of 51.69. Congratulations to John Campbell, and again, Mr. Ian Spencer collecting in his absence. And Mr. Spencer, I'll ask you to stay because you're on double duty. No, it's runner-up. And of course, they played a fantastic game, the Surrey Kings, and they must be applauded, the Surrey Kings, for the contest that they put on here today against the Royals. These teams, they've met 3 times in the competition, and now the Royals, they've won 2, and the Kings, they've won 1. Led, of course, the captain, Jermaine Blackwood, for his team. As Jermaine Blackwood collecting for his team, he will also collect a check of $300,000 for the runner-up spot. Presentation now of the medals by Mr. Ian Spencer. And the team is being called to show their support. You want to be seen because you did put on a fantastic display. It was an enjoyable final that really went down to the final over. The presentation being done here. Give them a round of applause again. The Surrey Kings for a fantastic season, getting to the final. Seeing Xavier Burton there, a fantastic throw from the boundary for a run out in the contest as well. Kenroy Williams with 2 wickets. And Brett Barnes had a short, sharp and shiny innings. Patrick Harty Jr., Kennard Lewis, and ends up on the losing end. But a game also there. The coaching staff, because they played their part, the coaching and management staff of the Surrey Kings, their part. Thank you so much, Jermaine Blackwood there, and Mr. Ian Spencer. Now, we will invite the president of the Jamaica Cricket Association, Mr. Wilford Billy Heaven, to make this presentation. It will be the presentation of the winners' medals for the Surrey Royals team. We do have a little bit more to give to the Kings, Javor Royal, and an injury, but he's here collecting for his team. Now they realize what's on offer. Congratulations again to the Surrey Kings for a game well played. Mr. Wilford Billy Heaven is at the podium for the winners' medals, and we invite members of the winning team, the Surrey Royals, led by Captain Javel Glenn. A round of applause. Congratulations to the Surrey Royals team. Javel Glenn there. We invite the members of the team to be presented with medals as well. And here they come. Ryan Francis, of course. 13 wickets coming into the final. Then to that, Jamie Hay was there at the end with Pete Salmon. It's Jamie Hay. Kari Campbell went for some runs but came back with a big wicket as well. And Romain Morris got a half century in the previous match and made his contribution here today as well. There's Ryan Francis, left arm spinner. Wonderful tournament. Leroy Lugg, I've never seen a 6-bit hit on the top of the north stand before. So much power from Leroy Lugg. And of course, all the players will be presented with their medals. And this one is particularly special. The man with the most wickets in the competition, Nick Gordon, already collected a trophy and a check. And Nkrumah Bonner didn't get off today, but played his role throughout the competition. Raywin Senior was brought in early with the ball and picked up a couple of wickets as well. And of course the coaching and management staff. Congratulations again to the Surrey Royals being victorious in this, the inaugural Dream 11 Jamaica 10 competition. Pete Salmon there, the player of the final. And Pete, Mr. President, don't go anywhere. Jaffel Glenn, the man of the moment, the captain of this, being presented with their name will be etched in history as the first winners of this competition. Ladies and gentlemen, the Surrey Royals. So we will invite Mr. of the Jamaica Association come. Well, he will not be giving closing remarks because he's saying that the moment belonged to the Surrey Royals team. And again, congratulations to the Surrey Royals, and of course thank you very much for being part of this occasion. And of course the sponsor Dream 11, of course, and the Jamaica Cricket Association. We had a fantastic competition and it culminated with a super final between two special teams. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this occasion, and congratulations again to the winners of the competition, the Surrey Royals.